Just wanted to get on here and be on the record for what I'm about to talk about, given that everyone and their sister has an opinion about this, and it's clearly the number one story today. Stay with me here. I wrote down a few bullet points, but I'll try to keep some structure with what I want to say. There were two major gun violence incidents today, one at a high school in Colorado where 3 students were critically injured, and of course Charlie Kirk got shot at one of his events today. And I want to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing and just get on the record before all of the MAGA bots find all of my old videos where I blast Charlie Kirk for being a grifter, and before they comment that channels like mine are what is inciting this type of violence. First of all, it was confirmed that Charlie Kirk is dead. And right off the bat, I do not condone, I condemn violence, especially political violence like this. If you're on the left, yes, I get it. You've been angry with this man. You've been frustrated with Charlie Kirk for years because his views are diametrically opposed to ours. And we know that his personal brand was a huge grift. He was largely paid by billionaire dark money, and he's a Trump apologist, meaning even when Trump did something bad, Charlie found a way to justify it. Even the Epstein cover-up. It's a classic example of bootlicking, and it's all to keep his business model afloat. It's gross. But anyway, yeah, Charlie got shot in his neck at one of his events. Blood was squirting out like a goddamn horror movie. Disturbing, disgusting, an act of violence that I do not condone. If you're on the right and you're blaming the left for this violence, which many are, many conservatives are blaming left-wing commentators for radicalizing or inciting this violence. If that's you, then let me explain why that's faulty thinking. All mass shooters were inspired by someone. Dozens of mass shooters in the US have been conservative. Many have been registered Republicans. Are conservative commentators to blame for their radicalization of the conservative man who shot up a Walmart in El Paso, Texas? By their logic, the answer should be yes. They radicalized him, but I don't subscribe to that notion. And I don't believe the left nor any group should be blamed for Kirk's death. Anyone who has the intent to murder someone in cold blood like this clearly is a maniac who needs help. They were already lost. They were homicidal. Something is wrong in their brain already. Stop blaming political commentators. Some on the left are celebrating his death, mainly because Charlie is supporting the genocide that Israel is doing to the Palestinians in Gaza right now. So some on the left are celebrating what they view as an evil man who got what he deserved. If that's you, if you took to Twitter to celebrate his murder, look, I have to be honest, I don't like that. If you're on the left and you are against the violence happening in Gaza, you can't support violence in other places. Nobody should be assassinated in front of their wife and kids. In my view, he didn't deserve to die like this. Now, I do agree with my friends on the left. His views and his organizing efforts, specifically, with Turning Point USA, and all the success that he's had in turning middle-class white men toward the right, yeah, I think that's all horrible for our culture and for society more broadly. I think his words have done a lot of damage. This is the man who spent his entire career disparaging, demonizing minority groups, women, Black people, immigrants, and other minority groups. I think he was a bad person. But do I think this bad person should be murked in this context? Should be murdered? No. In my best case scenario, Charlie would have gotten deplatformed by his own audience or by the general public, because I believe his words and his views have been really harmful. But I also believe free speech is free speech, which means I don't support a censorship by the government. But personally, in my dream world, I wish the people canceled him years ago, organically. Now, I want to say it's normal for us to attach our values, our beliefs, to our identity. When someone says something that is opposite of what you believe, it's easy to see that as a personal attack. That's a normal human reaction. Let's say someone tells me they hate gay people, they hate trans people, they want laissez-faire capitalism, they want to force Christianity in the public schools. Those are values that are absolutely opposed to mine. So it's easy for me to feel personally attacked because I believe in human rights. Gay and trans people should have equal rights. Capitalism is a scourge on society, and Christianity has no business being forced in public schools. So when someone demonizes your views, by extension, you may feel like they are demonizing you. And this is what's happening to conservatives all over social media right now with the Charlie Kirk situation. And this is the topic that I really wanted to talk about. I have tons of conservative friends and family posting all over social media about this. And the way they're posting, you'd think they just lost a loved one. Pray for Charlie. Pray for his family. I'm absolutely devastated. People are freaking out, and you would think that they all knew him personally. Charlie was very likely influential in many of their lives, but it's a goddamn shame that every single one of them have been silent, completely silent, about the hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians who have lost their lives, been tragically murdered in the Israel and Palestine conflict and in the Russia and Ukraine conflict. For years, our social media feeds have been flooded with horrific, genocidal pictures and videos coming out of Gaza. There's an intentional starvation happening there. It's a clear ethnic cleansing. It's a genocide. Well over 100,000 civilians have been murdered by Israel. And none of these motherfuckers online has said anything about that. Now, I'm going to get a little graphic here. Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck. Blood was shooting out like a squirt gun, like a freaking horror movie. His body went limp as you see his soul start to bleed out. Now imagine that, but dozens every day to little children in Gaza. The picture I just illustrated for you, that's happening to dozens of children and to adults every day in Gaza by the Israeli military, the IDF. Say something about that too. I've already condemned what happened to Charlie, but these conservative friends and family of mine, everyone on social media, have ignored that this is happening to children every day in Gaza. Apparently, it only matters when it happens to someone that looks like you, that prays like you, that thinks like you. I'm referring to conservative fundamental Christians, most of whom are white. Today, they've posted 5-paragraph Facebook statuses saying how devastated they are that Charlie Kirk got killed. But again, literally nothing about the literal genocide that is happening in Gaza. Not a peep, not a word. Nothing about the brown people who don't look like them, who don't pray like them, who don't think like them. Fuck them, right? So Charlie had a wife and kids, but that doesn't automatically make you a good person. I believe he was a bad person because of the intentional damage he's done to our society through his Stone Age values and his organizing with TPUSA. I believe in the right to visit college campuses just so you can debate teenagers for internet content. That's free speech. I also support your right to support bad things. If you want to support Israel's genocide, fuck you, but you should be able to have that belief without being shot in the face. But if you're going to hold those terrible beliefs, you should be able to handle the millions of voices who are going to condemn your views. It's also worth noting that Charlie's business model acts as a divisive agent in our political discourse. This is America in 2025. If you are going to spew racist, homophobic, sexist bullshit on the internet, then you better be ready for people to push back. I just wish it didn't happen like this. To summarize my critique of the left here, I don't think you should be celebrating violence against Charlie Kirk, while at the same time condemning violence against children in Gaza. I condemn both, and I think you should too. And to conservatives who might be watching, fuck you if posting about Charlie Kirk's death was the only news issue you've publicly commented on recently. You care about the man with a similar skin color who has similar views as you, but you don't care about the hundreds of thousands of children who are being starved and slaughtered by Israel as we speak. Condemn both things. Otherwise, you just look like an evil clown. You're Pennywise. You're a Joker.